Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, what is up? The King of Lightning here today, bringing you guys and gals Toriko Chapter 361 VIZ review. Now, as always, if you've not seen the live reaction, there will be an annotation right here, as well as a link in the box below. Yo, man. Yo, Toriko Sekai o fucking Starjin Toriko brothers. They're bros. Like, I'm still undecided as of today, Monday, if this is a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know, because it's so late in the game. So is it even necessary to make, you know what, that's what it is. It just seems very unnecessary to make Toriko and Starjin brothers. Like, is that gonna change anything? I mean, they've been on good terms as of late because they are, I mean, shit, they collab together to go and get God. But it's a surprising fact. But is it necessary? I'm not too sure. But for characterization, that clearly is the biggest thing in characterization, by far. Aside from them gaining new powers, which, I mean, that was a universal thing, aside from maybe Aimaru, because Aimaru, he's not, I don't know what's going on there. You see even Komatsu have his Gourmet demon active, but Aimaru is just sitting there. So to me, I'm like, bro, like, you better not be fasting right now. When news, another Earth and Atom were in front of you. Oh, hell no. So that's weird. We need some clarification there, because we saw those Gourmet demons, aside from Aimaru. Then they all power up. They are able to attain the memory of the Gourmet cell, the Gourmet demon, by consuming another. Then you have the consumption of news, then Earth and Atom. They all tie in together. You gain some type of new, like, I know that when you consume news, you can use the back channel. I think Earth is the energy for you to hold, to utilize the back channel appropriately, and Atom is something else, but I forgot what it was exactly. Either way, they all tie in together. So characterization wise, that is a component of the characterization. But the biggest thing here is the fact that Toriko and Starjin are brothers, which again, I can't even tell if it's a good thing, because it just seems very unnecessary this late in the game. I'm stunned. I'm like, couldn't believe what I was reading. Like, oh my god, this entire time. Who was their mom? Froze? Oh no! Oh god! Like, I'm just saying. Like, who is the woman? Who's their dad? Like, who are these people? I want more details on who their parents actually are. They're twins. They're not just brothers. They're fucking twins. Since they're twins, wouldn't it be the case where Starjin also has multiple Gourmet demons inside of himself? Because they share, for the most part, the same genetic makeup. So why is it that Starjin has one that we've seen thus far, and Toriko has three? He has three. Like, Toriko is, like, beyond special, but since they're twins, wouldn't that special attribute also apply to Starjin as well? I mean, possibly. I mean, that's what I think. They're twins, so whatever special trait applies for Toriko should also go for Starjin. But as far as we know, he only has one Gourmet demon, while Toriko has three. He's an uber freak. So I'm not too sure. So that's characterization. And again, it's crazy, but possibly unnecessary when it comes to the whole brother thing, because then it leads to a whole slew of questions that I highly doubt we're ever going to get answers to. That being said, let's go to the translation comparison between Manga Stream, Batoto, and VIZ. Now, there was one particular panel where I was like, what the fuck are they talking about here? Sunny's, I didn't understand the second part of that panel, where in which on Manga Stream it says, and I quote, "Once there was a voracious hair monster that would devour creatures and even planets, swallowing them whole. It would then vomit them back out to take control as its own." And that, I'm like, what does that mean exactly? So on Batoto, they clarify it. And it says, and I quote, "This is the hair monster that once devoured not only living creatures, but entire planets. That demon would spit its victims back out as its servants and use them to control the galaxy." Okay, so this dude somehow controlling them after he swallows these creatures to rule the Milky Way. However, on the official VIZ translation, it says this, and I quote, and why is the screen, I need to zoom into this, zoom in, because I can't see this, man. This thing's so small. So it says, and I quote, "Sonny, your demon is the hair monster that long ago devoured not only living things, but also entire planets. That was a demon that spit out the inferior ones and ruled the very Milky Way." Like, the creatures that it deemed to be unfit, it just spit out, like, fuck you guys. So the official translation, it's not necessarily controlling the inferior ones. It just spits them back out. Whereas on the Batoto translation, it says, not only did it spit them out, but it also controlled those that it spit out to control the galaxy. So were the inferior ones being controlled as well? Or, like, were they being controlled in the first place? Like, the ones that were not inferior, it still kept. But did it keep to consume, or did it keep to control? I'm not too sure. But that's the official translation, so we gotta go with that, because it's official. It's the VIZ certified. So it's still kind of weird, not too sure, but that's what it is. So that's the first translation comparison. The second one, because when it comes to Toriko's the aloof warrior ogre, it's the same thing. When it comes to Zebra's the demonic crazy voice demon, same thing. You have one saying numerous planets, you have one saying devastated countless planets, and so on and so forth. So it's the same thing there when it came to its strength, when it came to its voice. But when it comes to Coco's, it's a little bit different when it comes to the VIZ translation, because they kind of changed the panel structure. So on both Manga Stream and Batoto, it goes along the lines of this for Coco's demon. And then there's the poison devil, which of course had utterly lethal poison. But though poisoning its victims, it created countless creatures to be its slaves and conquered a giant planet. Coco, the very thought of you as my enemy sends shivers down my spine. So that is the Batoto translation. However, and the Manga Stream translation once again follows the same path. But on Viz Media, it's flipped, which I find very intriguing. So on the official Viz translation, they say this for the same panel: Coco, I'd be scared to have you for an enemy. They start the panel off with that statement, whereas the scanlations, that's the ending of that particular panel. So it's fascinating how, in this case, they flipped it around. And then they continue, the poison devil ruled an enormous planet accompanied by a multitude of creatures. It captivated its people with its poison. The lethality of its poison is a given. So those are like the major translation differences between Viz, Batoto, and Manga Stream. Now, when it comes to the chapter structure, all in all, it's fine. Not really a big deal. But there is one thing that I did find weird. And that was when Komatsu was talking about the can that he found in Area 8 on Yuto Island. What's in the can? What's in the can? We're going to find out. Hopefully, it's not something like broken. Like, oh, there's a piece of God in the can. No. No. If God or Center's in the can, that's a bad move. Especially Center. Because we had a plan. There was a plan to get Center. There was a plan where they were all going to have the full course of everything else, excluding God and Center. They would wait for God to appear, and then Center was going to be a journey for the entire party to get Center. Finally, some Dragon King action. Fucking finally, because this guy hasn't done a damn thing. This guy is lazy as shit. He just chills there like, He does nothing. Alright, every 8 king has gone in, including Guinness. So Darius, it's time to go, baby. It's time to get some work done. But here's the thing. When it comes to the chapter structure, I found it kind of weird how at the end, you have Komatsu talk about how when he first got the can on Yuto Island, and then Toriko sniffs the can, then he announces that whatever's in the can, he's going to put in his full course. And then after that, Komatsu says, but And he continues talking about the can and how they couldn't open the can. And when he was in Area 6, he got milk to make him a can opener. So I'm sitting here like, why would Mitsutoshi structure the chapter to where he would continue the dialogue about the can after Toriko announces that whatever's in the can, I'm going to put into my full course? I would have figured that that whole part involving Toriko smelling the can, that would have taken place after the dialogue was finished about how Komatsu got the can and how they failed to open the can and how he got a can opener when he was talking to Milk in Area 6. That's what I would have figured. It's not a big deal, but for me personally, I did find the chapter structure a little bit weird at the end, but it's not a big deal. And finally, when it comes to the story progression, I do think that it was a little bit weird that we did see. So, okay, let me start here. Clearly, we saw the tongue awaken when they consumed another. There was a lot of tongue action. All right, Toriko clearly displayed that. Zebra's like, Komatsu, you looking real tasty there, kid. So clearly, a lot of tongue action. These guys have become masters of cunnilingus. Masters, like me. They're on my level now, right? But here's the thing. We did not see the awakening of the legs or the body. Because News, Earth, and Atom, they awaken the legs and the torso, or maybe the head, or one of those two. Atom, I'm not too sure, but I know Earth and News are the legs. I know that for a fact. Fact of the matter is that we do not see that awaken. Unless it was that one panel of where, like, you see all the Gourmet demons. They're just sitting there, aside from Aimaru for whatever reason, but they're just sitting there and Toriko is doing the speech. So maybe that's the reason why we didn't see the awakening of News, Earth, and Atom, I guess. I'm not too sure. But that's something that I think was a little bit strange. Because again, we saw the tongue specifically awaken, but we didn't see the legs awaken, nor whatever Atom unlocks. But that being said, story-wise, I mean, 4 of Akacia's full course, down the hatch, gone. And the chapter in itself wasn't like, it is a fast chapter, yes, but it's not nearly as fast as some other previous chapters where entire arcs are skipped. No, not that fast at all. It's more or less like they sat down, they enjoyed the meal, but it was more so the awakening of unique powers, like seeing the ground as meat, seeing rocks falling as fish and oranges and whatnot. And then on top of that, it is Gigi talking about the Gourmet demons inside of each of them. And how Toriko, he has more than just one. So the fact of the matter here, and I'm surprised that he didn't say shit about Starsians. What about Starsian's Cyclops demon? Because that guy, he can track you with his clairvoyance, even if you go to the furthest ends of space. Can we get some intel on that guy? As well as Blue, whenever Blue comes out, because Blue, he ain't doing shit. He's like Darus. He's just chilling. And then the other guy, the guy with the wings. Woo! This dude, who the fuck knows, alright? Who the fuck knows? So, all in all, I'm really hoping to see some intel on the history of Blue and the other guy as well as Starsian's Gourmet demon, and whatever Gourmet demons is inside of Komatsu, if that demon is of note. If. It may not be at all, but that demon is, I find, very curious, like, because Komatsu had just attained that Gourmet demon, and they did the whole process of attaining a new heart via pair, so Komatsu's body could be ready to actually handle a Gourmet demon. So he's ready. Let's find out more about his Gourmet demon, Komatsu's. So that being said, when it comes to chapter rating, I am actually kind of confused because some things could be bad. The Toriko and Starsian thing could be perceived to be bad, but more so than anything else, I think it's unnecessary. When it comes to the Gourmet demon stuff, that I thought was awesome. I thought it was very awesome to find out who the Gourmet demons are when it comes to the 4 Heavenly Kings. That I thought was excellent. When it comes to the can, we're finally getting to it. I do like that. But the fact of the matter is that we did make a jump, but it's not like a drastic jump. It's not huge, all right? It's a decent jump, but it makes sense because they have Ian for of Acacia's full course. And every time they eat something like that, of that quality, they always power up. They always make jumps. It is what it is. That's a Toriko standard. So, the chapter overall, again, with the exception of my confusion for the brother thing, I'm going to say it was actually a pretty damn good chapter. It was great. So, I'm going to give it a rating of a great, and I'm done. So, King of Lightning, rate the video, comment, and subscribe as always. Peace. Have a nice goddamned day.